Can I build the Wolf Mask Shadow Dojo without any instructions? Let's find out. Oh, it's good to be back. This set comes in at 1,190 pieces. A moderate challenge for someone with zero martial arts experience. In case this is the first time you're watching an instructionless build, I build LEGO sets without any instructions and only use the box as reference. And it's a good thing too because, oh boy, look at the size of this instruction booklet. It's absolutely massive, and I'm really glad I don't have to use it. Some people might think I'm a little unhinged for just dumping out all the bags, disregarding the numbers, and just putting all of my LEGO into one big pile, but it makes me feel happy. Alright, so long story short, this was supposed to be a two-part series, but when I was making the first part, I was about to finish exporting and I dropped my hard drive. I'm no computer expert, but I'm pretty sure it's busted. So anyways, now we're more or less here. I have the base of the build constructed and the upper platform as well as these two pillars that support it, and I have the main dojo sparring mat almost complete. So now that you're all caught up, I'm going to start building the dojo. Early construction of the dojo seems pretty straightforward. I have these two big panels to help block out a majority of the front, and then I want to add the railing because that's going to help clear up a lot of extra little pieces I don't need to worry about. And I like how this is looking so far, but this build is a lot bigger than I thought initially, so organization is going to be key if I'm going to have any kind of success with it. Usually I don't sort my pieces into color groups like this unless I really have to, but in order to keep making progress and not lose momentum, I felt like it was necessary. Now that it's done, I'm really excited to get started on the wolf head, which I think is a real big staple piece of this entire build. This is proving to be a lot more difficult though than I initially thought it would be. The person who designed this is much more skilled at building with LEGO than I am, but that's not going to stop me. After enough trial and error, I have a shape that I really like. It's a little flimsy and it doesn't sit too well, but it looks the part and that's all that matters. I think his mouth is supposed to be able to open and close, so I'm going to add this hinge piece to the bottom so that later I can add that weird ball thing to his mouth. I'm actually quite impressed with how this turned out. Anyways, on to the next task that I think is going to be pretty simple and straightforward and going to help clear a lot of the pieces off the board, and that's building the roof. I don't quite know how I'm going to structure the roof. I'm still trying to build my way up there with these walls, but the main roof part is ready for when I need it. I'm just trying to add any extra little details that I might see. The more I keep looking at this though, the more I realize not everything is quite lined up the way it should be. So that calls for the trusty brick separator. Ooh. This tool is great for sending little pieces flying off into the abyss while you're trying to build. But if you think that was fun, check out this flimsy wolf head I'm trying to fix. Oh my god. That's okay though, because like a butterfly hatching from a cocoon, I'm building it better the second time. And now I have access to his red eyes, which I now realize were actually supposed to go over here, and not in the wolf head. Well, now that happened, I think I'm going to try and focus my efforts on a different part of the build and finish this roof. I'm not getting the exact dimensions correct. I'm trying to approximate it as best I can. Things aren't lining up super well, but it looks pretty good. And after my little break, I've decided to revisit the wolf head, and I was actually surprised at how much better I was able to build it the second time around. I even got the ears pointing in a way that I think looks pretty good. Ah, there we go. Back where you belong. Alright, I built the foundation of this tree earlier in what was supposed to be part 1 of the build. I think it's time to finish it up so I can add Lloyd as my captive. There we go. Lloyd looks pretty good here. It's nice to almost be done this dojo. I'm not really feeling too happy with how that main roof section is looking anyways, so I'm probably going to come back to this in a bit and see if I can't spice it up. I want to add these two banners that you see at the front, but I realized I'm missing one of the plates. And notice that the plate at the bottom is actually supposed to be black. So now I have my two plates that I can use as my banners now. Taking this time to assess what pieces I have laying around, I also realized that I had these two clear pieces for the sparring mat attached wrong. Everything's really starting to shape up, and now I find I'm just adding a lot of the little details and trying to make everything feel a little bit more what you see on the box. Adding all of these little plant pieces definitely helped. I also found where the one wolf ear went. It was just laying on the porch the whole time. And with the roof upgraded, all I have left to do are a few cosmetic things, like this big medallion thing, and the weapon stand. There we go, and now I have the weapon stand built, and I just need to add another plant to Floyd's tree. But before we put it all together, let's take a look at these minifigures. Okay, so all the ninjas are more or less the same, they just have different color palettes. But what I really love is this piece they have to hold two swords on their backs. I think that's awesome. And then we have Jordana, or Jordana, or the one who was left behind. Cinder, don't know who you are, but you look pretty cool. A generic wolf mask warrior. And Lord Rass? Ross? Rass? I don't know, but he's pretty cool. And there you have it, the Wolf Mask Shadow Dojo built without any instructions. This one was a lot of fun to build and was pretty challenging, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think the hardest part of the build was building this foundation for the dojo to sit on. But once you start laying all the pieces down, it really comes together. As usual, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, happy building!